All right, what's going on? Next video, show you what we got going on and where we might be going. Not really for sure. So I got in here a little bit off camera, and I've been talking about it. Inner wheel wells. So I got in here and kind of started blind cutting a little bit. You know, this side's still what it is. But, you know, I was talking before, I've got to do the slit in here if I'm even going to think about doing roll-up windows. Well, you know, there's a lot of rot, stuff like that, all the way down here. Even the outer wheel wells. This one's not near as bad as this one was. So I kind of got in here and cut, and I went ahead and cut this piece out, which was the old door jamb. You know, and my quarter still, it's already welded up. You know, I've still got some more grinding and stuff, finish work to do on it. But, you know, my structure's made. So that's why I went ahead and went in here and cut that piece out on this side. Went ahead and got rid of all the rust and cavity and all that stuff. And I kind of blind cutted, you know, my inner wheel well, outer wheel well. And I think what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make this piece in one section down through here to tie into my quarter panel to, you know, put the strength back in it from the inside. And then I'm probably going to cut this lip on out. I left this piece as something to go off of. But once I get this in, then I think I'm going to build this piece, which I may do the other wheel well first, but I'm going to build this piece by hand. And I'm going to try my best to do this, because them windows are shaped, you know, like this rear window, and they roll down. They kind of hinge off the back and roll down like that. So it kind of contours your fender well. So when I build this piece, you know, I'm going to be clear and open. I'll have to finish slitting back here, which I'm gonna look at the gasser first to, you know, make sure where I'm at. And that's why I left this. That way I can kind of base this structure off of this, and then I'll probably end up making this in two panels where it has this offset curve. So I'll make a straight panel, and then I'll make my top piece, you know, and weld the seam to go over however far, you know, I got to leave for my window opening. And then, you know, once I tie in this wheel well back, this will put strength back in the rocker, which the quarter is good and solid anyway, and we're still good and straight down the side. You know, I've got it tied in from the last video with all this channel that I made, so it's not going anywhere. It's just a part of, you know, figuring all this out to hopefully in the long run make window channels work and be able to do roll-up windows back here. You know, I've talked about it, and I've kind of been up in the air of, you know, whether I'm going to put roll-ups in it or not put roll-ups in it. I don't know until I get there. So that's what we're doing today. Like I said, I've done a little bit of blind cutting off camera. I'm getting ready to try to get some rough measurements on this and try to make that wheel well. And instead of two pieces the way it is from the factory, because I'm not buying these wheel wells, I'm going to make that one piece down in front of the wheel there, and, you know, seam it wherever I need to seam it and get it all tied in. Same for that side when I go over there. So I think that's what this video is going to be. For sure, wheel wells, both sides. If I've got enough room with this video, we may have to break it up in another video, but if I've got enough room, we're going to tackle these inner structures too on the back side. But if not, then, you know, that'll be a video to look forward to, and we'll go from there. So what I'm gonna do, I'll set you up on some laps as I'm going with this. Kind of winging this one, guys. Not sure how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get there one way. So y'all know how I do. But I'll bring you back, guys. See you. All right, guys, I want to bring you back here just a second and show you what I'm going to do to try to get my shape. This is our flat piece of metal we're going to use. And as you guys can see around this garage, limited tools, limited stuff to work with. We've got to get that shape right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Our base of that shape. How we're going to do that, the only thing that I've got round that's big enough in this shop is my welding gas tank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unhook my regulator real quick, pop this tank out, and I'm going to lay it on the ground. I'm gonna shape this metal over real quick. Fortunately, I don't have my screw-on cap. It's at the other garage, but we'll be real careful. We're gonna lay it down and shape that. So I'll set you up on some laps here and show you how I'm gonna improvise. All right, guys, see you. Hey guys, what's going on? Bring you back here just a second and show you what we've got going. So in some of this footage, you see me take my welding tank and start shaping that metal. Well, that ended up not working. I've done it before like that, you know, use something like that. These sections on this car that I need to put in are a little bigger. If it's a smaller section, you know, 8x8 or something like that, doing it down at the bottom of the wheel well, it's no big deal. I can shape it, you know, over something round or over my knee or my leg or whatever. These was a little bigger. So I'll show you what we got. I ended up, which I've been wanting one of these anyway. Ended up went and got a English wheel to play around with. I've never used one up until now. I've watched them on YouTube and done, you know, little research that way, and that's about all I know about them. So, but I did get to playing with it a little bit off camera, and I made this piece here for my wheel well. It's just screwed in right now, but I've still got to work on it some more. You know, it took shape. I actually put a bend on it with the brake, and then sliced it down through here. That way, when I roll it through the English wheel, it got the curve. Now the curve's real good. I've still got to work on this edge some more, but we've got it fitting down around the floor pan pretty good. And the way they done these from the factory, you know, it's got an outer wheel well and an inner wheel well, and they meet right here at kind of like a pinch weld, you know, kind of like the floorboards and the way stuff's built nowadays. So that's what I'm trying to recreate. So I've got this piece kind of in there, and the lip. So the next step, I'm making, you know, this outer one. We're going to get it tied in here, and then once I get everything fitting good, you know, then I'll slice cut it, weld this in, and we'll go from there. So I'll show you what I got with the metal. I've already kind of got a rough measurement. I cut my metal, I put a bend on it. So I'm going to set you up on laps. I'm going to put some slices in this one so that ridge will bend. Then we're going to play with it on the English wheel and see if we can get it shaped in. So, all right, guys, I'll set you up on laps and we'll go from there. See you. All right, guys, what's going on? It's been a day or two since I've been in the shop. We've had some crazy weather going on and just super busy. But anyway, enough of that. We'll get to what we're doing today and what we're gonna mess with on the 4-door conversion here. So where I left you off, guys, we was bead rolling metal, or not bead rolling, English wheel. So I got my inside one shaped out pretty good. I think you guys can see this. We've got it vice grip together. You know, we made this kind of like factory, you know, with pinch weld. The only difference is the outside wheel welds, you know, from factory, they're pre-bent and they have this rubber piece on them that goes out against the quarter. Well, you know, I'm not buying this, I'm making this piece by hand. And once I do my inside panels, this inside one's never going to be seen again unless the wheel is off this thing and you're looking straight up in there. With that being said, what I'm planning on doing, instead of slicing this one in, butt welding it, I'm actually going to let it lay over top of a little bit of the old one. And we're going to spot weld it in there. And then I'm actually going to, I think I may put a couple spot welds just to the inside of the quarter. Not much, just a little bit. Then we're going to drill this one, plug weld this in to tie this one in, and then I am going to slit cut this one and shape it on in. Because, you know, if any of them's going to be solid, it'll be this one if the rear seat's out. Then once we get that far, you know, I'm going to go through and I think just seam seal this, because I don't want to try to, you know, buy one of these and get the rubber and all that stuff. And, you know, you're never going to see it again. And I think it'll just be, I think it'll be fine. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's what it looks for the inside. You know, it's hanging down a little bit right here. So once I get these in place and get them tacked in, you know, I'll get in here, because these kind of run down at an angle just a little bit. I'll take and cut it into shape, and then we'll seam seal it and do what we got to do as far as that. So I think that's what we're going to work on today, guys. And I'll set you up on some laps and we'll go from there. See you guys. All right, guys, bring you back real quick, show you what we've got. And we're probably gonna cap this video off and move on to the next project. So what we did and what you've seen, you know, I'm no professional with this English wheel. I'm learning it, and it's a pretty cool tool, but there's definitely an art to it. I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out, and I'll just show you and go from there. So this is kindly our finished product. You know, I've still got a seam seal and all that, but you know, I'll do all that at one time whenever I get done with this metal work. So on this inside one, like I said earlier, you know, I made it on the English wheel too, contoured it down, and then that rubber seal. So my plans with this, I've got it welded in and just tacked in 2 places down through here. Pretty good tacks to tie it all in to the inner wheel well. And then I'm going to seam seal that right there. On this panel, you can see in the video I did slice cut it. This is our finished product. I ended up having to put just a little bit of a relief cut in it. You know, this is all a learning process for me, guys. And but I put a little relief cut here to shape this on around the wheel well. And I done, you know, this way with the English wheel. And like I'd said before, you know, I've put these panels in from, you know, about right here down. And I actually did it in the gasser. But, you know, they start straightening out just a little bit there. And, you know, I was able to shape, you know, this bottom part in the gasser, you know, by my knee or leg or whatever. But, you know, this is a big contour this way and this way. And I'm sure the English wheel can do it. But, you know, like I said, it's still a learning process. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. I ended up putting a few tacks right through here. Our seam looks pretty good. I've still got to pull that wheel off, go underneath and drill and do a few plug welds underneath. And then, you know, in my opinion, this side will be ready for seam seal, guys. When I get ready to make this panel, you'll know you'll never see this one again. And the outside one I wanted to look pretty good, which even though the seat's going to cover it up. So that's what we come up with. I hope you guys like it, and we'll cap this video right here. And I think where we're moving next, we'll go ahead and start cutting this section out on this side, and then that outer wheel well is the one that's real bad on this side. So I'm going to have to make another one of these pieces for the other side. And also, you know, I drilled this down through here, plug welded it. It's kind of like they did from factory with the 2 wheel wells. So that's what we're going to move to next, is that side. Once I get that, we'll probably come back and either catch these up or move to the toe boards. You know, even though I didn't have my professional welder welding this one up for me, hopefully my standards are still pretty good compared to you know, the professional welder I had do all my spot welds here. Sorry guys, camera just died. We'll finish that up. You know, I didn't have my professional welder. Hopefully my standards is up to par, which she's coming on strong. She done a good job on all this tack welds, which you've seen, which we haven't finished welded anything yet besides this wheel well. That's where we're going to cap it, guys, right there. Professional welder was sitting here watching me. You know, hopefully my standards are still up to par. What do you think?
No, I'm competing with you.
You're coming on strong with it, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? I might be put out of business on the welding.
You never know.
I might have to just make panels and let you weld.
Yep.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea to me, guys. All right, guys. We're going to cap it right here. Till next time, like, subscribe, hit that bell, guys. Get these notifications. You know, I love talking to you guys. It takes a a minute or two to get back to all the comments, but I will get back to you. Till next time, guys. See you.